Hi, I'm Jimmy Connors. Welcome to the Bella Country Club.
He's the muscle of the group.
The enforcer, Arn Anderson.
Yeah, but I mean, like he was the muscle of
Yeah.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Man, I love talking about Arn Anderson. I'm enjoying talking about Arn Anderson probably way more than I should. But I really like Arn.
Hey, how many times do you get to talk about Arn Anderson? You know.
I love Arn Anderson, man. Wait, back in his day when he was when he hadn't gained so much weight, he was actually pretty cut.
Yeah, he's always beefy. Beefy.
Yeah.
He's built. You know.
Yep.
He could throw down.
What's the term for that? It's
thick.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a woman would say like a beefcake or something like that. Is that how a woman would describe that, man?
Well, I think beefcake is more like their personality, or like, oh yeah, I guess so. I don't think you describe their body as beefcake or like they're built.
That gets a little weird when a man starts calling another man a beefcake, I guess.
I mean, there is Brutus the Barber.
Well, that's in the name though. That's like that's like a channel that has SNES in it. I have to recognize the SNES. I can't not if it's what it is.
Yeah, I think beefcake's more of the overall person, not like their physical appearance.
Okay, you could be right about that. I always thought it meant like, like he's like a good-looking, handsome
beefcake.
Yeah.
You thought it was positive?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
But except for Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Okay.
Maybe we should get him on
Urban Dictionary.
Let's get him on the line and ask him. So, what is a beefcake?
Beef. Okay, we're gonna start the episode.
Can we just start the episode?
No, we need
to
definition.
No, we need to figure out what a beefcake is.
Okay, beefcake. Images, especially photographs of attractive, usually scantily attired men with muscular physiques.
Okay. That may be the definition. But I mean,
it's foreign to me. I can't really speak to that. But welcome to the Higher Energy Superpower. This is episode 29 of the Turbo Duo Cast. I am your host.
No, it's not 29.
What is it?
I don't know.
Well, you can't just throw out.
Yeah, you're just splashing the pot.
I know you can't just throw out numbers and not know what the answer is. It's not that, but I don't know what it is, but it's not that.
My name is Salvatore Mata, and to my left is my brother from another game show lover. He's the oral assassin. He puts the ass in classic gaming like butter, like cheddar. He makes everything better. That's Trenton E. Wright the Third, Esquire. 2 Esquires.
Sometimes feta.
He's the only
makes it
double.
better.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not. And, of course, we have Turbo Duo and a half. Salvatore, Superstar, Soccer, Wrestling, New Stuff.
Yo, he does it all.
Video Game.
He's the one-man band man.
Mata. Salvatore. How are you doing today, Sal?
Good.
Gentlemen?
Yes.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Good.
You excited? You ready to go?
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
So, guys, we have our year in review episode, as you can see by the title here. So, we just want to celebrate the end of 2021 with our first video of 2022 and just talk about the games that we played, maybe some of the memories of the year, maybe some of our thoughts about the podcast that we had, maybe the best games we played, or maybe some of our favorite acquisitions of the year.
The best and the worst.
And just kind of talk a little bit about the year in review.
How we did. What we did. How we did it. All
of that. We had our last episode, which was Die Hard Arcade.
It was.
Die Hard.
And, if you guys watched that episode, we really like Die Hard Arcade. And we had the opportunity to play Dynamite Cop shortly thereafter.
Oh, yeah, you and Ryan played it.
Me and Ryan, the manager, got to play Dynamite Cop.
Put the man in manager.
Yeah. Real man and manager. And I would say, Dynamite Cop is a Dreamcast game. And I would say Dynamite Cop, and Trenton, correct me if you think that I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Dynamite Cop is a more refined version of Die Hard Arcade. albeit probably half the time to take to complete the game.
It's like a 20-minute game.
But just as fun.
You know what? I honestly can't really. I only watched you because I was doing.
Have you not played it at all?
I don't remember us playing it, and you're the only person I would have played it with. I mean, you guys you had already. I know we were downstairs doing something. I might have been playing the guitar. I might have been playing the Lynx or something.
Oh, okay.
And because when I came up, you were on like
foreshadowing. We are going to talk about some of our holiday pickups.
You were on like the last level.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yep.
But I mean,
I'll
take your word for it.
It's more refined. So as we talked about, Dynamite Deca is the Japanese name for Die Hard Arcade. When it came over to the United States, they obtained the Die Hard license, and then they had Dynamite Deca 2, which when they came over, they did not have the license, so they called it Dynamite Cop. And it's definitely, in my opinion, a more refined version of Die Hard Arcade.
And you would hope so.
But I don't know if I like it more though. Even though it's more refined, I feel like I enjoy Die Hard Arcade a little bit more because
a little more cartoony.
It's and
it's more over the top.
The music's better on the interchanges, like when you're going through the QuickTime events. And I think Die Hard Arcade, I know this is a silly thing, but I think it's more colorful. Like it's so bright and vibrant, the blues and the yellows and the reds. It's just like everything pops off the screen. And it's a longer game. There's more meat on the bone when it comes to Die Hard Arcade. I feel like you get more for your money playing that game. So, but it was either way, it was fun. At the end of the game, spoilers, guys, but at the end of the game, if you haven't played it yet,
on you.
You've had 23 years. You have to, if you're playing with a partner, you have to fight at the end to see who is the eventual winner.
The old Double Dragon.
It's just like Double Dragon, where you have to fight against each other and see who's going to win. And then
that's how it always happens.
And then
we fought for 4 hours. Now we must fight each other, and
Yeah.
only one can win the girl.
Well, that's the thing, is that you're saving the president's daughter again.
Well, of course, obviously.
And man, is that...
And she hides in a suitcase.
Well, that's in the first one, right?
Well, she's hiding under the
no,
desk.
she hides in.
She hides in a suitcase. She's hiding in a box somewhere.
Where's that girl?
Yeah. But man, just about the homeliest looking woman I've ever seen in my life. Oh, she was...
Home, like she's
Oh, it was a dude in a wig.
Oh, okay.
It's just a really strange...
Juana man?
Yeah. And there's a dancing monkey sitting by her.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
While you're fighting each other, she's like doing this little jig.
He's got his little tambourines.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just like bouncing around like a little wacky spider monkey.
When you kidnap the daughter, you gotta obviously take the monkey too.
Yeah. But my gosh, man, the visual of that female. Anyways, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. I mean,
it's a video game.
It's an imaginary character, right? And then, what another fun thing, and part of being our age and having experiences with some of these old games is a lot of times we're able to, not a lot of times, but when we have the opportunity, we can introduce some of this stuff to a younger generation. And we were able to celebrate some of the holidays with friends of ours who have, their kids are in their early 20s. So not quite kids, but not yet quite moving on to the next phase of their life.
I'm not a girl, not yet a woman.
You don't always have to sing, just so that you know. You don't always have to sing a song.
I don't always have to do a lot of things.
But then it wouldn't be interesting.
Yeah.
So these guys never have played NBA Jam. And so, of course, if you got 4 people together...
I thought you were talking about Ryan.
No.
Because he never played NBA Jam?
Right, and he loved it.
And we played it on the Jaguar.
Right. Was it 4-player?
Oh,
3-player?
no, wait. No, we played it on the 32. Well, we played on the... Oh, yeah.
We played it on both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And he said I think he liked the 32X version better. I think it's because of the controller. I think he wasn't a fan of it. Well, most people
If we could get a Sega Genesis adapter,
I think someone's working. I'm sure someone's working on it.
Because that's like the best controller in the world. So
yeah. Well, actually, because I said I actually like the Super Nintendo controller for TE because the turbos are the triggers on top.
Oh, that's right. We did enjoy that as kids.
It makes it it just, I don't know. I just feel it's a better experience.
If there was a perfect game, I don't know. Maybe it's NBA Jam because we talk about it all the time. I feel like
it's we really do. And we talk about that and like Streets of Rage always comes up in every episode.
I don't know, man. I feel like
it's just that pickup and play, and it doesn't take a lot of thought. It's this button to pass, this button to shoot, this is turbo, and that's it.
Yeah. So there's
on fire.
exactly. So you have me.
And you don't even have to be like Ryan has like no clue about any sports,
but he's
or
played,
at least
but he plays
basketball.
video games.
Yeah, and it's like he's like, oh, I actually really like this.
Yeah, it's like you thought you didn't like sports games. He's like the only game I've ever played is NBA Jam '99, which had Nick Van Horn on the front,
which is just
a regular basketball
game.
So he was totally duped by that.
Yeah,
because they tried to go realistic when So it was me and the little guy, and we were playing with these two guys who are some of our friends.
But I wasn't on your team. I was on Tim's team.
Yep. So it was Tim and Sean, and so I was with Sean, with the two brothers. I was with Sean, and Sal was with Tim. We played 2 games. These kids were having the time of their life. They were like yelling at the top of their lungs playing this game
on 32X.
On 32X, 4-player.
They did me and Tim one?
So the first game, we were down 2 points at the end. Of course, that's the one beautiful thing about NBA Jam is it's always a close game.
I know, right?
You know, and it's always like down to the last possession.
Like literally the last shot.
I take my shot. Sal stuffs me. Absolutely stuffs me. Game over. They win. The second game, did we go into 2 overtimes or just 1 overtime?
It was 2, I think. It was
2 overtimes?
It was 2 overtimes.
We went into the second overtime, and you guys scored.
Oh man, I love that.
At the end, and we had one last shot, but we couldn't even get it off, and they won by like 2 points in double overtime or triple overtime. So we lost 2 games in a row.
It's a bird.
Yeah, I kept ragging on this kid, Sean. I was like, Sean, you got to pick up your game, man. You got to hit those 3-pointers from the outside. There's only so much I can do from the post.
I'm not paying you to ride the pine.
But it was just a barrel of laughs and a ball of fun.
And the thing is, like, it's like a 10-minute.
It's so quick.
Game, you know, like a 10. You play.
Well,
like
unless
a 10
you play
game.
on the Saturn or PlayStation, then you're gonna be in for like 40 minutes. That's why those versions aren't as good. But yeah. So X gonna give it to you again.
Oh, the 32X that is.
32X, the most unknown, as we call it.
Yeah.
The best non-console to ever exist.
No.
What?
The Sega CD.
Ooh,
is definitely better.
That's true.
It's definitely.
No, you're right. You're right. You're so right about that.
I mean, but how many are there? Like 3. I mean, what? Attachments? The Turbo Duo attachment.
The Turbo CD.
And that's it. That's the only.
I'd say the CD's better than the Turbo CD.
No, but I'm saying there's not
probably.
There's only there's literally only 3, and 2 of them were from Sega.
I know.
Attachments to consoles.
The 64 DD, but that didn't even come out over here.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. The Famicom Disk System.
Okay. Now there was 3 games for it.
Yeah. So my little guy kind of trounced me in NBA Jam. He took the gold, as they say.
Took the gold, baby.
He took the gold. So he's 2-0 against
me. I mean, me and him make a pretty good team when we play.
How did you guys do against us?
We won.
Am I 0 for 4?
We only played. Well, I can't remember.
You guys won both games.
Yeah.
No, we lost the first game on the Jaguar. We lost by like 4 points.
Oh, really?
And then we beat you by like 8.
All right, so I'm 1-3 against you, and you're 3-1 against me.
We were the Charlotte Hornets.
Charlotte Hornets.
Alonzo and Larry Johnson.
Oh, LJ Grandmama.
Yeah, I mean that's
nice.
You got the beefy dude, and then you got the shooter.
You always need a tall guy, and you need a 3-point shooter. That's the mix up. We're more of a Clarence Witherspoon and Sean Bradley. Philadelphia 76ers.
I really think the Hornets were pretty boss back then, but I think in terms
they were always really competitive. They just never went over the hump.
I think in NBA Jam, or at least in the TE, I think they're the best team to play with.
Not the Orlando Magic. Oh no, they don't have Shaq on that team.
No, that's what I'm like. I think they're because you can also switch. You can Muggsy Bogues was on the Hornets,
right.
And so like if you wanted to get the really small guy, the shooter. But I like Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson because you only have 2 people to play with on the team. You're not picking a 5-player squad. So
right.
I think on NBA
Best
Jam,
2-player team
battle me. Who's better than the Hornets in NBA Jam TE?
I bet you somebody knows like in terms of like the whole breakup of like the value system, like who's the best.
Well, I mean you gotta factor in skill too with the player.
Right. All right. Well, I think with that out of the way, I'd love to talk about some of our pickups, you guys, for the Christmas season.
We go and pick it up. Pick
It's only games now.
Pick it up.
So, do you have you have a couple games and then you've got a console to show? Because I've got quite a few things over here. We're gonna do a couple unboxings, guys. So strap
Two
yourselves in.
unboxings.
It's just too much show.
You look like Will Ferrell playing Harry Carey in the interview with.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Who's the guy from Jurassic Park and Independence Day? What's his name?
Oh, I forgot.
Apartments.com. What's his name?
Oh, man.
Oh yes.
Come on, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
He's interviewing Jeff. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do an impersonation. That's what you look like, though. You look like him playing Harry Carey.
Hey, guys.
Yes. And we'll leave it there. Yeah. So if you only have a couple of things, maybe I'll run through some stuff here and then Sal will go.
I've got one thing.
Well, you've got a couple of things, but if you want to just talk about this main one here, which I think is actually gaming related, so I love that. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever, dude.
So this is a late Christmas pickup, as in like 2 days ago.
Like, it was yesterday.
But it was on the docket. It just didn't come in for a very, very long time.
Very long time.
Right, and it finally came in. You know, it's a
bare shelves, Biden.
It's a very it's an international. It's an
crisis.
International. Stuff sitting at the ports. So, anyways, it finally came in.
So if anybody,
take it away, Sal.
if anybody knows what an Akato is, I got the Akato Arena.
Oh.
And
What's cool? What is a Akato? Can you explain for the audience, because some of you guys might not know what this is, but the kids are going
nuts.
wild.
all 5 friends.
They're going banana.
All of my 5 friends from
The 5 friends that have it.
I have 4 friends from school and then 1 friend that I met at jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And then
my other friend who lives in the forest.
he doesn't live in the forest. And we're all obsessed with Akato.
It's a squirrel.
And I'm the only person, one of my friends, that has the Akato Arena. And
Aren't you so lucky
to
have a dad who loves you so much?
It comes with.
He doesn't care about that.
I don't.
What is an Akato, Sal? Can we show? Can we show for the people?
Akato means.
All right, we're losing it. Akido.
Akato is an arcade. It's game related.
In Japanese, right?
In Japanese, it means.
And they're these little
arcade.
fighters, right?
And they're little fighters, and you like.
Here, remove this thing here, so that.
For all the
The
old
punching
heads,
bag.
think a smaller version of the Karate Fighters.
The Karate Fighters.
See, and to me, all this is Street Fighter born out in physical form. It's basically just characters fighting against one another until somebody gets
Split strike.
Yeah,
a split strike is when you get chopped into like this piece.
He's like, oh no.
oh look
He,
at
like,
that.
gets
He's
shot.
demolished. That's worse. That's like a Samurai Showdown type stuff.
Yeah.
So I just think it's really cool because it's another collectible thing, but they're actually functional. They don't
And-
just sit out there. You can actually put them in the unit, and actually, can we show how it makes noise?
So
Oh, yeah, I turned it off.
Put the switch. You turn the switch in
Flip
the
the
back.
switch, baby. Player 1.
This is the Kato theme song that's on. Yeah.
It actually sounds like something you'd hear from a
Hey,
fighting
turn
game.
it down. Turn it down.
It sounds like the beginning to Black and White.
That's
from
what I was
Michael
gonna
Jackson. Yeah.
Mom!
Look how cool that is, though.
It's just slapping sticks.
Oh, he just got splitted.
Split strike. And so, do you guys know who Chucks is? If you guys,
I don't think anyone
If you
knows.
guys have an Akato, you could have Chucks, and this is
He's kind of like the main character of the whole thing.
Yeah, and this is Turbo Chucks.
Turbo Chucks Lee.
And he has like these what are they called? Morning stars. He has like these 2 morning stars.
Wow, that's a 7-year-old saying Morningstar. That's awesome, buddy. On chains.
And then regular Chuck's Lee. Chuck's Lee.
Do they have
he just
super Chuck?
He just has nunchucks.
He's got no chucks.
Nunchucks.
1 chuck, 2 chuck,
Nunchucks.
3 chuck, 4.
Nunchucks.
Well, the original character I think only has 1 chuck.
But what about Chuck?
So
And then you can put characters.
Chuck Rock.
You can put characters on the back.
and get them ready to go, and the
Storage area.
background can switch over. You can pull it out and do a different one.
Pull it out from the
But
wrestling
it
ring.
actually has like a health bar status, almost like a
Player 1,
almost
player
like
2.
player 1 and player 2 on a regular fighting game. So they took that inspiration.
You could take it out and turn it into like a different stage. So it
You can make your own.
It can go to. It can go to Japan.
I bet you could draw your own and just
This
put it in there.
Japan, and then
Does it go
this
to?
is the Aikido Championship Wrestling ring.
But does it go to USSR?
Maybe.
I bet you could print out that stage background and form it to that size, to scale or whatever,
Yeah,
and
you
then put it in there.
No, all you gotta do is just measure the size of this, and then you could print your own ones.
That'd be pretty sweet.
It's just like it has to have to be on a cardstock.
Yeah. But even the characters come from
They're gonna come out with like a digital one. It's gonna have like a screen on it.
that would be that's the next, and then you got to buy that one.
$200.
Yeah.
If the Aikido company could make it.
Well, what they do, like I used to have it. There was a WWE entrance ramp whole thing, and you could just put your tablet on it, so it'd be like the Titantron. You just use your tablet and put it up there.
When you were 10 years old?
No, this was like 8 years ago.
Oh, when you were 29.
I know. I kept
Playing with your figures.
I just kept it in the box, but they showed like a picture. You could just wedge your tablet in there.
That's pretty wild.
And then play.
We'll have
Yeah,
them
you
walk
could do
down the
something
ramp
like
to go. Yeah. But anyways, so there's a bunch of characters. I think there's like 38 characters. They all come from.
No, there's 28
There's
characters.
there's 28.
There's 28 characters and I really want the mythical Stormstrike. If we can get him, at least.
They kind of mirror tropes of modern life. Like you have Chuck Lee, who's like Bruce Lee. You've got a guy who's like Two-Face from Batman.
I think it was called Splits.
Was it Splits or Split Personality or something like that?
No, I think it was just Splits because
You have one that's like a Viking. You have another one that's
Axel. His name's Axel.
You have another one that's like a snake.
An androgynous man.
Miss Slither.
Yeah.
Why can't you tell them their names?
Huh?
Why can't you tell them?
I don't know
Their
all of their.
names.
I don't know all of
No
their
one
names.
knows
We're
their
not gonna. We're not sitting here talking about a Kato for 24 hours.
Wanna go.
One of the things that I can't show in physical form, but I was able to pick up was the Capcom Beat 'em Up collection on the Switch, which has.
Oh wow! That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a Switch sale for like $10, and it had.
You know, when I'm in the ring, I like to beat them up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, 1, 2, jab, uppercut.
If it had Rocky on Master System, that actually would be a lot of fun. But just relive the classic.
You know, when I was in there with Drago. You know, you saw me.
You know, I think you would care because this is a beat 'em up collection, Trent. Okay? Trying to crowd my airspace over here. What the hell's the matter with you?
I'm just saying, you saw me with Tommy Gunn, right? You know, Rocky 5. Hey, took him out in the street.
What does that have to do with the Capcom Beat 'em Up collection?
I'm just saying, I beat him up in the ring.
I don't even know where to move on from here, unless I just kick you off the show with a boot.
Those are what we're talking
With
about.
the
Beat 'em up.
not
All right.
a boot.
But
It does it have like Bionic Commando?
It has Captain Commando. It has
Captain
King of
Commando.
Dragons. It has Knights
Baby
of the Round.
Commando.
King of Dragons. What sounds that?
That's the one that's got more like RPG elements, but it's a beat 'em up, so you level up your character.
I don't. Oh, okay.
And then
okay. Isn't that Knights of the Round similar to that? Or
But it's more dynamic than Knights of the Round. Doesn't really do anything when you
more
level up.
hardcore.
Yeah, it's a little bit more dynamic.
Did they put any of the final fights on there?
Final Fight's on there.
Final Fight is on there? Okay,
The
I'm gonna play
arcade,
it
the
now.
arcade version.
The first one? Mm-hmm. It's just Final Fight.
Just
one.
the first version, yeah.
Huh.
And then I think there might be one more game on it, but I mean, for $10, it wasn't.
Oh,
you know.
it was just download?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. For
that's
the
pretty
Switch.
solid.
Yeah. So that's beat 'em ups, being such
Get
a
all the versions
big deal
of,
for us.
all the versions of
Daddy,
Final
are we gonna
Fight.
play?
Well, Captain Commando was really the thing. I mean, even if it was just Captain Commando for $10, I probably would have bought it because
Yeah.
that's.
Daddy, are
Why
we
do
gonna-
I feel like I hate?
Are we gonna play that the downloadable basketball game that we have on our Switch.
Oh, NBA. It's like NBA Jam, but it's a 3D version.
I
NBA
want to play that tomorrow.
Playgrounds or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like NBA Street.
Yeah.
I don't get
They
it.
all got like big heads.
Yeah,
They're
I don't
all
understand
cartoony.
it. I don't know how to play it.
It's basketball.
It's basketball. One of the other games that I got was
Digitally.
right over the holidays was this one here, which of course Trenton's gonna make fun of me, but it is cart only, and that is Mazen Saga Mutant Fighter. You heard of this before?
Have you seen this? It looks familiar. Victokai.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of game it is. Is it a shooter?
It is a slash 'em up.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you are a fighter, side scrolling, up and down. You know,
Oh, okay. Like
you know?
Streets of Rage or like Golden
like
Axe, I should say.
Golden Axe, exactly.
Ah.
Yep, it's
It looks expensive.
this is about $50 on its own, 40, $50.
Okay.
So complete, yeah, it goes in the hundreds or something like that. But again, it's one of those things where, all right, I can get the cart and then I can try to build out from there if I can possibly.
Down the road.
Either way, I wanted to try it. And you know, one of the things about getting some of these games, guys, is if you don't like a game, you could just resell it right away and make your money back. So I mean, it's really, there's almost no risk to.
I mean, I would
to buying
assume
games online.
I would assume it's supposed to be good.
It is good. I mean,
Oh.
it's not Golden Axe and it's not Streets of Rage, but it's good.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So-
No, I feel you.
So yeah, do you want to give one of your shouts there?
Yeah, I'll just actually grab.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Can I take a look here, James?
So this will actually lead into your next one, I think.
Wait.
Yeah.
It'll lead into your next one. So, you know, I'm out and perusing as I usually do. Stopped into Game Exchange in Orange, and they had like a ton of games that
Orange, Connecticut.
I never usually like. A lot of games I was like, I don't know. Some of them I didn't even really recognize. A bunch of Super Nintendo games that like I have no idea what they were.
Like the deep cuts of deep cuts.
Yeah, even ones that weren't even that really expensive, but I was like, I've never even heard of this game. And so I was looking down on the shelf, and they had a bunch of inbox Genesis games, and I asked the guy, I was like, did like someone just like bring in their whole collection? He was like, yeah, someone just like recently brought in their whole collection, and so like all the games had like a plastic wrapper on them. So
What do you mean plastic wrapper?
they put like they wrap them again in a plastic. Because I didn't know if they were all complete or not, and he told me they were. So I grabbed Micro Machines on the Genesis.
I don't know much about this game. It reminds me of RC Pro Am.
Yeah. It's kind of one I've always wanted, and
It's definitely a game right up your alley.
it's a complete. I don't know. The Codemasters ones are weird. They made like a funky looking cart. They did like the Cosmic
That
Space
almost
Head.
looks like a European release because it's got the sideways manual.
Yeah, and it's got like the huge. Yeah, the other. So yeah, sideways manual.
Does it have multiple languages on the back? On the back of the
It's weird
case?
because you say that, and like on the front it's like Mean Machines gave it a 97%, and it's a UK magazine, and I think it's all about like UK reviews on the back. Like
that might be the UK version, although it might work in a US Genesis because I have Sonic 2.
No, but I think
Does
that's
it say Genesis or does it say Mega Drive?
no, it's Genesis.
Then it works. It probably works on everything. That probably works on every single
Yeah,
console.
no, because I've always seen it on
Codemasters is a British company, I think.
Yeah, because I've always seen it on eBay, and it's just they have all the UK quotes on it. It's always had this.
Remember how you said like if it's got a bunch of quotes, it's probably not a good game?
Yeah. But I mean, everyone's 90, 92, 91, 93, 92. Like, I don't even... What are these... Like, they just, like, made up magazines. There's Mega Magazine, Games Master Magazine, Sega Pro Magazine,
Wow.
Sega Force Magazine, Look In Magazine,
Sega Force was a magazine.
Mega Tech Magazine, and Mean Machines Sega.
Dude, Europe and especially like Britain, they were crazy for Sega, man, because they had the Master System and then it rolled right into the Genesis. I mean, they had two very successful consoles over there.
Like,
right in a row.
the quotes is just weird. Like, so this is from Sega Force Magazine. Probably the most playable game I've ever seen on the Mega Drive. The most playable. What does that even...
I don't know.
I don't even think that's like a quote.
I don't know.
Hey, how about this one? From Sega Pro Magazine. Arguably the best race game ever written.
Lost in translation. Written meaning like written on a board, like
Yeah, I guess.
produced.
But yeah, tiny cars in big places.
Yeah.
You know, it's one I've kind of always wanted. I've never played it.
It's like when I was talking about Revolt. It's like the same kind of concept.
Yeah.
Just, that's like a 3D version of
you're like one track. You're like in a bathtub.
Yep.
Like, you know.
Yep. Or if you're out in the road, there's like massive cars around you.
Yeah. Like
basketballs.
I think like one you're on top of like a billiard table.
Yep.
You know. And then another one
that's a solid pickup. I like
so
that.
like some of
check that out.
so the I actually one game I got was for you in a way. So I had got these two. And
we could talk about it now.
Yes. The second one I got was actually Double Dragon 3 for the Genesis, which is not supposed to be
the redheaded stepchild
which is not supposed to be great, but I literally got my
Trade West
Flying Edge, but they maybe on the Super Nintendo, or I don't know how.
I just saw a blue stripe. So
yeah, it's that Flying Edge logo. Like because Micro Machines I got for 18, which goes for a lot more than that, probably double that.
Oh,
Double Dragon 3 I got for 18 as well, complete. It's like a 50.
That's gotta go for more.
It's like a $50 game.
Yeah, that's gotta go.
Yeah. And it's complete. It's pretty like mint condition too. So
that's sweet.
I was like for $18. The worst case I could sell it again. I don't know.
You can always sell a game if you guys don't.
I feel like I don't know. It looks cool, like the cover art.
I always, that's the thing that always tricks you about this game because it looks so awesome.
And it's it's the Double Dragon name,
right.
But yeah, they kind of I don't know.
Is it one player?
No, it's 2 player. But it's supposed to be like really choppy.
Were we playing this on the?
No, that was
VS.
No, that was either I was playing Double Dragon for the Super Nintendo.
What's that one?
It's just Double Dragon.
Oh.
It's
got good animation. Like the animation.
Yeah, the sprites are small though, like smaller than like the usual ones.
All right.
Yeah, but so I haven't played it yet, but for $18, like, why not?
Yeah, we'll have to.
And then the third game I got, which is that was $25, and that's like a $50-$60 game too, which is Dynamite Heady for the Genesis, which for some reason, so I had went through my pictures of my games, and I was like, I swore I had Dynamite Heady.
Always happens, doesn't it?
I had a picture of it, and I didn't see it, and it wasn't there. And then so I was going through my Facebook messages because I guess I had bought it. That picture I took the day before I had got it in the mail.
That's crazy.
So, but it worked out because obviously you didn't have it, and you wanted it. I was like, dude, you could take it. It's like a $50 game, complete.
I might have it loose,
and that's a late. That's a late release too.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the ones that's in the plastic shell, which there were ones that were made in
this cardboard.
Cardboard, so and it's complete, which is really cool. And it's another one of these really strange, weird treasure games that does like some crazy graphical things that make it look so three-dimensional in certain areas that you just you wonder how they were able to take advantage of this. And
it's like a cheaper version of however you pronounce it, Ristar or Ristar, or
in a way,
it's like one of those late Genesis.
I think there's more effects
releases
going on in these treasure releases than there are in things like even though Ristar is very colorful and
colorful.
Yeah, no, it's got great animation and just one of those really cool cuts from Treasure that came out on the Genesis. So, it's always anytime you get a chance to get a Treasure game, go for it. And
I mean that's a game.
This is actually one of the cheaper Treasure games when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not that it really matters to us, but that's like a game that I think is gonna go.
It will go up
like higher in value.
Yeah, because it's gonna it's a great game. It's just it's undervalued right now for the quality that you're seeing there. So no, well, thank you, Trenton. Appreciate that. Appreciate
That's what we do around here.
And kind of another segue. So,
oh yeah, I forgot about this.
I had talked about how I had gotten the case for Earthworm Jim, and so I had that.
Jim.
And of course, I couldn't help myself but look for a copy of it. And of course, on Christmas Day, this fine gentleman got me also a loose copy.
That's because we were at Retro Games Plus for the Game Con, and then the guy across from us had a loose copy of it, and you were thinking about getting it, but then you didn't. And then I was like, all right, he didn't grab it, so maybe I'll just buy it. I'll just get a copy of it and give it to him.
It was really sweet of you.
And then you're like, oh yeah, I just got my copy of Earthworm Jim. And I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah. So
I was like, well, I guess now
your copy was a little bit nicer, so I kept your copy. And then I just need to get a manual. So
I was like, well, I guess
eventually,
now I own Earthworm Jim.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't want to own Earthworm Jim?
I know.
You know.
I gotta get the artwork.
Yeah. I think he might have more. So
no, I was looking. There was a few.
We might have to put another order into my man Shiggity.
Shiggity. Schwiggity.
Good friend Ryan actually got this for me over Christmas, which was really nice. It's Virtua Racing on Sega Genesis, which, as you Trenton said, I didn't know this. It actually requires its own case.
Yeah, you can't.
You have to have a very specific Virtua Racing case because of the size of the cartridge, which includes the SVP chip. That's why it's so tall.
Yeah.
You know, famously, this is the game that came out for $100.
$99.99.
And yeah, so before I had my it was
like
after.
if you were skeptical about getting it back then, the price certainly didn't help.
Definitely, and it was around the time that I got my 32X. It might have been just before then. When Stop and Shop was closing down their video rental. Stop and Shop is a local grocery store here. They actually had a video rental area where we used to get like WWF rentals. We used to watch Hulk Hogan's videos
the
on
VHS
health,
tapes.
Yeah, health and vitamins and proper breakfast foods, and we were just so excited to see anything
proper breakfast foods.
Well, we didn't have cable, so like going there and getting a couple tapes of like the WWF was like a big deal for us.
Yeah,
and they were closing out, and they had a loose copy of Virtua Racing,
just
on
rattling
Genesis.
around in that clear plastic.
Yeah,
thing.
and I bought it for $8.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I bought it for $8 on closeout, and that was the copy that I had until I got Virtua Racing on 32X, and then I didn't need this copy anymore. But actually now, coming away from it, it plays well.
Yeah, it's not bad.
When you think about this game,
there's not much to it though, you know.
But when you think about what this was able to do with this special chip compared to say like Star Fox, you think about how fast this moves compared to how fast like Star Fox crawls, and this thing.
But
it
doesn't have to move fast, that game.
Well, they designed it in a way that they could handle it, but
yeah,
I'm sure if they could have made that faster, they would have. They would have made Star Fox a little bit more fluid.
Yeah.
I think Sega did a better job in terms of not the game, but the fluidity of how how everything worked together.
Yeah,
so
there's not a lot to. I think there's only like 3 courses.
3 courses, yeah.
Yeah, so.
But really kind of revolutionary for its time to be able to have this game on Genesis, and it's just too bad that they made the decisions that they did, because they made a lot of bad decisions, but this being one of them. I mean, because they could have why didn't they just release the SVP chip on its own and its own cartridge, and then just make cartridges that fit into that, almost like like an expansion,
You mean the system?
Like, instead of doing the 32X, what they could have done is release this SVP chip as its own cartridge for like $50, and then they'd have games that they could release for the SVP.
Oh, are you saying like make like a Game Genie? It's like its own thing. And
that's what's in here. But that's what's in here is
no, I got
under
you.
here is the SVP. So if you almost like the Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah,
where there's like a lock on.
You throw a game on top of it.
You throw a game on top of it, and then that game takes advantage of the extra processing power, almost like the 64 expansion pack.
Well, let's go back in time and let them know how to run their business. Doing it all wrong.
If we could time travel.
I know.
Well, I know that they had.
That's the one thing I would change. I'd go back and tell.
They did have like Daytona USA that they were thinking about doing. They had Virtua Fighter that they were planning on doing. So there were games that were kind of, at least that they had started planning on, that they said, well, we could do this game on it. I'd be so interested to see how it would have worked out if they did that. Or, I mean, of course you can't go back in time, but what if somebody could actually mock up, like, what would Daytona USA look like on this thing? Probably pretty terrible.
Yeah, that's a bit much to boot down to the Genesis.
There is some footage online, very brief footage of Virtua Fighter demoed for the SVP chip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you thought that the 32X version was blocky,
hey,
you got to see this puppy. But anyways,
it's the blockheads.
Really, really cool, kind of unique game. Maybe the most important game of the holiday is this game right here, which I never heard of before, which tells you how important it is. Not only, Trade West itself was not a really well-known company. They did a few games. But if you didn't hear about Trade West, check it out. You've not heard of Trade West Sports, everybody.
Oh, their own subsidiary of Trade
Correct.
West. We have our own sports department.
Like Sega Sports, it's Trade West Sports. And they have the very amazing, very green, very generic Pro quarterback on Sega Genesis.
And that's not John Elway on the front.
Nope. That is a Trade West logo with a guy who's probably made to look like John Elway. I don't know if I have anything else to say about this. We've not tried it.
It's football.
It looks.
It's not. There's no licensed teams or names.
Here's a quote from Game Pro. Possibly the most extraordinarily generic football game ever created. Just kidding. There's no.
Yeah. I when you said generic.
Yeah. I didn't want you to.
Hey. This is Trade West. Yeah. This is Game Pro. Hey, we're looking for a couple quotes for a pro quarterback. What?
Damn it! It's not complete. We're gonna have to hunt for a manual.
What's wrong with it? Oh
Nothing. No. So I think that's the gag gift of the holiday.
I mean, gag to you.
Don't talk about it.
Well, we'll see.
No, don't talk about it yet.
Are you gonna talk about it?
No, I don't want you to talk about it yet.
Okay.
I want you to talk about.
Yeah, you run the show.
All right. One of the games I was able to pick up recently, as in yesterday, so why not talk about it? And it's funny, I think this is the only game that you and I have ever purchased on the same day. Because you purchased this as well.
Well, no, I got a manual.
Oh,
yesterday.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
This is the only item that we've ever
Close
bought.
enough. Might as well
comparable things to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Doom 3 on the Xbox. Why am I bringing up Doom 3 on the Xbox? Well, the limited collector's edition of Doom 3
limited edition
also has I think the PC copy or PSX copy of PS1, excuse me.
Because,
copy of the original Doom on it.
How many Dooms can you have?
Listen, does it play Doom? The original Xbox plays Doom, and we need more Doom in our life. So if you guys love Doom and you want to play it, in a more cleaner presentation, maybe a little bit quicker than you're used to playing on your 32X or on your Sega Saturn
Or your Jaguar.
If you see the Doom 3 game and you have the limited edition near there and you see both of them, go for the limited edition because it does have that extra content. So it's just a little PSA, but
comes in a nice steel.
Comes in a steel case, and it's got some limited edition disc and manual, but it does include that extra content for Doom 1. So
there it is.
That's why I figured I should mention it. And then Salvatore, would you like to talk about this game?
I don't really know much about it.
All right.
Well, it's a good thing we held it off.
Can I talk about it? All right.
I only know half about it.
One of the things that Sal wanted for Christmas was more Spider-Man games.
More and more.
And he got a few DS and 3DS Spider-Man games. Ultimate Spider-Man, right?
I got Ultimate Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man for the DS.
Ultimate Spider-Man for Xbox.
No.
Original.
I said the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, the Amazing Spider-Man, yeah.
And then we got Shattered Dimensions.
Who's we?
He got Shattered Dimensions for DS.
And we got it for PS3.
Shattered Dimensions for PS3.
Well, and wait, what happened? And the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, we said that.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
And
what?
You put it back there. You were going to show it.
Oh.
We're Spider-Man crazy here, everybody.
That one right there.
So Uncle Trenton got Sal.
No, what are you doing? This.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Got Sal a Tiger Electronics Spider-Man game with Hobgoblin on the front.
The reissue.
Yeah.
From I think it's Hasbro that puts them out now.
So I know Sal's been talking about Shattered Dimensions for a while.
I saw this.
And of course,
game.
you have to have a Tiger Electronic Spider-Man game.
I saw the Tiger Electronic game. I saw it at the game show last year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because when you opened it, you're like, I saw this at a game show.
I just saw it hanging on on the shelf, and I was like, it's Spider-Man. I want that.
One of the things about Spider-Man is that anytime these games are released, if there's a new publisher, the game goes away. So it's like the physical releases of these games become heavily sought after, and on these PlayStation, Xbox 360.
Wait, did I tell them?
Yeah, because I haven't
consoles, these games are starting to blow up.
Until you told me, I didn't realize they had switched like publishers or creators. Yeah. So it's like Activision now. It's
Insomniac.
Dad, can I tell
Sony.
them?
We can't go through every game.
But there was.
We're on a budget here.
Let the kid go through one more game. So, anyways, Shattered Dimensions, thought of as a very good Spider-Man game for PS3. And one last game for the little guy. The kids are loving Lego Ninjago, and this is.
I love ninjas and I love Legos, so this is perfect.
That's why they made Lego Ninjago. And so, is this a 3DS game or a DS game?
This is a 3DS game.
And it's called Ninjroids.
Wait.
Interesting.
I think this is a more simple, straightforward action game.
Oh man, I need a manual.
We got to get the manual.
I don't think so.
The game.
We got to ask the manly manager Ryan to see if we can track one down.
Oh, you got that from Ryan?
I don't think it's worth it.
Oh, it's worth it.
That you got it from Ryan?
You might have to just buy a whole other one.
No,
for
I didn't get it from
$4.
Ryan.
And who would you get it from?
I got it from
somewhere.
A store with red and black lettering.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the 3DS store?
Nope.
The 3DS store.
Yeah, it's called GameStop.
They only sell 3DS
Oh, you went
systems.
to GameStop to buy this?
Yes. You were actually in the store and I hid it from you.
Stop to play games.
Good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
Because I was too busy grabbing Mario Party.
You were just...
Yeah, you were too busy
I was
freaking out.
running.
Yes.
It's like I was like running.
Daddy, I want this. Daddy, can I get this?
I was
Daddy, I want
running
this.
to-
I want this. Can I
I
get
was-
this? What about this game? Can I get this one?
I
What
was-
about this one? If I don't get this one, can I get this other one then?
Oh man.
No, you get chicken nuggets.
I ran to the Switch games and I saw Mario Party. And I grabbed it off the shelf.
Yeah.
And then you probably just grabbed Ninjago and just took it in your
Anytime
hands.
you go into like a toy or game store, it's like an episode of Shop Till You Drop. You're just, you got your cart and you're just...
It was like when they showed the shopping spree thing from Nickelodeon. If you were going to win the $5,000
Yeah, to go to
shopping
Toys
spree,
R Us.
or you had a minute to
Yeah.
grab as many items off the shelves and put them in your cart.
Yeah.
Trenton,
Stuff that you don't
That's just
need.
every day.
Trenton, can you take us home?
So actually, I stopped by Mr. Ryan's place of employment today, and I picked up a few things. Actually, really, technically only one. A couple were just kind of filler. I picked up Time Crisis 2.
Time Crisis.
Because I picked
Crisis.
it up at Goodwill for $2, and it was just the case and the manual.
Oh, nice.
And he slapped me a good deal on that one. And then the other ones. Oh, actually, I got the Alundra 2 manual. Because remember when I told you when I was in North Haven that my neighbor was throwing all his son's games out? This was one of the games in there.
Really?
But it didn't have the manual.
But as the case?
Yeah, it had the case and the disc.
How much is that game worth?
I don't think it's much. I think it's like 50, 60.
Okay.
Like not crazy. But I know I didn't have
He
the
was
manual.
throwing them out.
Remember I told you? Like I showed you that picture.
I didn't know
It's
he was throwing out games like that.
Yeah, it was a Nintendo 64, a Nintendo.
What kind of game is that?
I think it's like an RPG. I don't I think it's like an action RPG kind of deal. It's Activision. I don't know.
Oh, is it Activision?
PS1.
Okay.
I feel like it's like an action adventure RPG. I could be wrong. I
Interesting.
really have. I
Cool.
just know I have it, and I don't have the manual for it.
Oh, all right.
And of course, the one thing
That I saw.
that I had to get was
Uh-oh, I don't even know what's happening here.
Custodian for the Atari Jaguar.
Oh.
It was in the little glass.
What is this?
Tower next to So I really don't know.
I've seen this there forever, but I never even paid attention to it.
Yeah, who would? It's a Jaguar game.
Oh, it's a Pico game.
Yeah, so I was gonna Pico Interactive.
They make the EverDrive games.
So there's literally, if you go on YouTube, there's literally only one video of it, and it's from Pico. It's like a 5-minute just kind of gameplay video.
So this is like mad rare.
Not really, because you can go to Atari Age, which is like the
They have them on there.
official shop. Yeah, it's $65 plus shipping or whatever.
Okay. This is like mint.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's still got the little plastic bag on the cart too, with the manual.
Did they order this? Or this is traded in?
I don't know. It's been there forever. So,
how old is this game?
You're throwing all these I literally just
You should know this, Trent.
I literally just looked it up when I was there. I was like, custodian, what is this? And
you're the jaghead.
And there's really like nothing about, like, if you go on YouTube, there's not even
who made it.
So I posted it in today in the one of the Atari Facebook groups I'm in, Jaguar groups, and I was like, oh, I'll just pick this up today. Has anyone actually like played it? Is it decent? I don't know. I just had to grab it because it was a Jaguar game.
I like the cover art.
Yeah, and so like a bunch of people didn't. I guess so. Apparently, it's a port of an Atari ST game.
Oh, okay. Atari computer.
So it's like an older game, which I guess it might not be that great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Jaguar. It's a Jaguar game.
It's a Jaguar release. A coveted Jaguar. Can I see the sandbox?
Yeah.
How much did you get it for?
$55.
All right, not bad. I mean, it looks okay. You're like a little character, maybe like a little mech or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a free roaming.
It almost looks like a shareware game. That's the Jaguar.
Well, it's an Atari. It's an Atari ST
I'm not
port.
saying that shareware games are bad. Listen, I love Hocus Pocus. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a free roaming shooting kind of thing. Like I literally, if you go on, you type it in on YouTube. You type in.
It almost looks like
custodian Atari Jaguar. There's only one video, and it's from the Pico YouTube channel. So there's not really much information about it. I bet if I put in custodian Atari ST, maybe I'd probably get something more about it. But yeah, so I was like, you know what? At this point, I've been collecting figures and stuff. I was like, there's no way I would ever spend $50 on a figure, but I'll spend $50 on a game that I'm not really sure about.
I mean, you could always sell it if you had to.
Yeah.
There's probably none on eBay.
No, I wouldn't though, because it's a Jaguar.
No, I know.
Game.
But this is like, look how
well, because
like
you can still get it from Atari Age. They sell new copies of it.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I would have got it to them, it would have been like, with tax and shipping, would have been like $75.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah. Well, I mean, when do I ever find a Jaguar?
You know what it kind of looks like? It looks like
that?
like Turrican Light in a way. It looks like a lighter.
But you're not really. So it looks like in most of the there's only some parts of the game where you're like actually like running, like side scrolling kind of deal, and the other ones you're like in like you looks like you're like a ship, just kind of like free roaming through the level.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll try.
Well, that's kind of how Turrican is, though. It's like a wide open expanse, and you can go up and down. And
oh, okay. So maybe I'll.
It's not just like left to right.
Maybe
Up and down and all
maybe
around.
if I have a little time tomorrow, I might just pop it in just to see how it plays.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gotta
kind
have
of cool
it.
though, because like it's just like a random. I don't know how. I didn't even ask because I think it'd been there so long. I didn't even ask how he got it. If someone brought it in, or I don't know.
They should make like a little like bumper sticker or something like on a T-shirt. It says like, "It's a Jag thing you wouldn't understand." It's
Even if you do, you don't understand.
yeah. Even when you do, you come away from it saying, "What am I doing?"
If only if only people were that devoted when it was around. It's weird.
I know. Well, that's what happens though. Things
And there's
aren't loved, and then people
they're actually,
like it because it's kind of a special thing.
Yeah. There's actually another game that just came out for pre-order that looks pretty cool. It's called Galactic Mines, I believe. Like a space shooter kind of game. Looks pretty. They just put that up for pre-order, so it's it's still crazy that
Galactic Mines.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird that there's just. You could pre-order games for the Atari Jaguar right now. There's new games coming out, multiple games. I don't know. It's
It seems like the retro scene is just exploding at this point with new stuff coming out every week. It seems like there's just so much retro content that's out there that is being produced, which is awesome. I mean, it's great that that's
Well,
the
especially
case.
because it's not like you have to go through certain channels anymore. Create a I mean, you don't have to, but you can a physical release and get that pass, print it up, manufacture it, all that, get it on shelves. Now you can just get get approved for whatever, like Steam or the PlayStation Network or whatever, and just like throw it up there.
No, I know. Well, yeah, so like retro style games, but then also, just games coming out for old consoles. Like you can actually purchase like a Xeno Crisis or something like that.
Oh yeah, for the Genesis. The Genesis. Yeah.
Like there's this other one, this like Shinobi, sort of beat 'em up style.
The Dreamcast?
Shadow Gangs.
Yeah. I actually just saw the video of that.
That's got the Kickstarter going on that Sega Lord X is talking about, and that
actually,
looks really cool. You know, and like.
It's because they put it. It's on like I think it's on Steam and like the PlayStation Network.
Yeah,
and then they're actually making like the physical for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, but there are like a lot of collections coming out, like that Capcom beat 'em up collection. There's a couple Sikyo things that I was talking to my buddy Rob about today that I was able to pick one of the collections up today for. So it's a shooter collection. So like there's just like a ton of like retro inspired things that are happening, whether it's on old consoles or new stuff like Switch. One of the Christmas presents that you got me, which I didn't show, was Cruisin' Blast for Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah,
which is like we're playing that. We're playing that every day now.
Oh really?
Yeah, like we're loving that game, and like it's just.
I got all 3 keys in one level.
One of the things I would like to do is cover one of the cruising games, like Cruising USA this year. I think would be a fun thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could. You might as well just cover like all 3 and kind of like you focus on the first one and then it's like, oh yeah, the other ones are.
That's fine. But I mean, that is a real special game. It was special to the Nintendo 64 when it was coming out.
I think it should be the next one.
It very well could be. It very well could be. I think that'd be. But Cruisin' Blast is amazing and it's such an inspired game from those old games. In fact, it might be even more arcadey in a way. It's just like outlandish and crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm glad that you can go to any arcade and just like play it.
It's like I would say it's if you put Cruisin' and like Burnout.
Yeah.
Into like one,
especially
kind of
the
deal.
Burnout, the one, I don't know if it's all Burnouts, but the one where you crash the cars.
I think that's Burnout Takedown.
Yeah. So
it's like if you put those kind of 2 worlds together, I think that's.
There's one. I don't know if it's the original mode or just the arcade mode, but like the police are after you, and Sal's just taking them all.
Oh,
out.
And Cruising.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm literally just smashing into them. They're gonna blow up.
And it like slows. It does that ultra slow mo, and then like
which was in Burnout. Yeah.
It's like
I'm breaking all like the SWAT trucks.
Breaking faces, baby.
Raw Thrills has got some heavy cojones though to like put that out only on Switch. Like I love that. Like how they were like,
no, must have had some kind of deal with.
No,
Nintendo
it's only on
something.
Switch. That's I mean, when you think about Cruisin' is really a Nintendo.
It is
property in the way of like how that how the 64 was supported by that Dream Team, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
Midway. What's up, buddy?
When are you gonna open the unboxings?
I think we're gonna wait on the unboxing. I think we're gonna do that after the podcast.
Okay.
We've been a little long in the tooth on pickups. Uncle Trenton's got a nice pickup that he wants to share.
This is gonna,
and then we're gonna wrap it up.
It's gonna be a pickup into which is also into my, I guess, the best pickup of the year. I guess how would you describe it?
Favorite gaming related acquisition of the year.
Yeah. And the award goes to. It just sounds like an award ceremony. Favorite gaming acquisition of the year.
And the award goes to Speed 2 Cruise Control. Never said anybody.
Yeah. So
speaking of Speed 2 Cruise Control, loving the Laserdisc version of Speed and Mission Impossible that you gave me.
Watching it like 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Exactly. Flip the disc. Make sure it's clean. There's something about Laserdisc. I want to go down to the archive and just see what they have.
Oh, in Bridgeport?
Yeah. I mean, I got to bring a gun if I go down there, but
No. It's
I'm just kidding.
It's a cool spot because they like when everything was kind of like shut down, they were like slow or whatever. So they like, well, you'd never been there originally anyway, but yeah, they like gutted the whole thing and like
did they?
Did everything.
Maybe
it's 2 floors.
Maybe when I'm coming back from New York one night, maybe I can
hit me up.
Maybe I can meet you over in Bridgeport and we can go to the archive.
Yeah. It's a cool spot.
Anyways, you guys don't care about that.
Yeah, it's inside talk. Yeah. So originally, I was gonna probably go with the Evercade the Evercade VS as my acquisition, because I had just got that last month or a month and a half ago or so.
You're melting my heart right now. I just want you to know that.
So then,
I love you so much.
Christmas came along, and now I have a Jaguar.
That's right. So it's all in on the Jag heads.
And if you're in the jungle, you have the Jaguar.
What is the other animal that's out there that you have to watch out for?
The next best thing is the Lynx.
The Atari Lynx.
Atari Lynx.
And it's just the box.
Yeah, he opened it up and there was a Game Gear inside.
You know how disappointing that would be?
You should have put like that little retro console thing I gave you.
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, so an Atari Lynx. I had I was at the game Retro World Expo, and someone had it there, and I was like looking at it, I was staring at it, looking hard.
I remember you told me.
I was looking real hard.
Yeah.
And ultimately I passed on it because I already bought a few things before that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole right now.
There's no reason not to if you got a console.
Yeah,
because the games aren't that expensive.
I know, which is surprising. And so it wasn't just the system. I didn't have all the games with me.
That's
but
all right.
I got the official Atari Lynx carrying case. Actually, I have the Atari Lynx in here just in case.
You have the stand?
Oh no, I didn't bring that. I don't have the stand. Or not familiar with it. But this is in all its glory and splendor.
It's a really bright console. Like the screen itself looks really nice. I mean, even if it's, I know you might want to mod it, but even just stock, I like the way that it looks.
Yeah, it's
the console.
I haven't booted up my Game Gear in a while, but it might be a little bit better than the Game Gear screen.
It's way better than the Game Gear screen. Even the Majesco Game Gear screen is not as good as that.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know. It's it's like you have, I never really had a Jaguar, and I wasn't ever planning on getting a Jaguar until I got a Jaguar. Wasn't really planning on getting a Lynx until I have a Lynx.
Well, I know how much you love the Atari stuff, and I noticed, I saw your face when you gave up on the game show. I'm like, all right, we're gonna fix that.
So yeah, I don't know. There's something, I don't know. It's the same thing with the Jaguar. It's just something about it that is just different.
But you look at a game like Zybots, like that's a really cool looking game. It's like a 3D perspective, and the way that the Lynx can do scaling, it kind of like blows your mind.
Yeah.
For back then?
Yeah.
Because it's a 16-bit console that does scaling. It's like the Super Nintendo, but just
so
the resolution is the thing that held that console back.
Yeah, there was a bunch of games like I actually have Malibu Bikini Volleyball in here right now, which is actually just kind of like a fun game to play.
Have you tried it?
Yeah. I played. Remember, I sent you the screen. I was like, we won.
That's right.
So the control, you have to kind of figure it out, where like the trajectory of like the ball and everything. But
it all makes sense.
It has, of course, they threw in the scaling effect when at the beginning they flip a coin for who gets the ball first.
Oh, they show the coin scale.
The perspective is you're looking down at the thumb and it flips the coin and it goes up into the screen and
it gets bigger.
Yeah,
it's still cool though.
Yeah. But definitely like the best game out of the bunch so far, I would say, is
Hydra?
This game Hydra.
Yeah.
Which is a port of the arcade game. I don't know. It's just a fun game. You're just like, at the beginning of the game, they give you like a package or something, and you have to get to the end of the course. And I don't know. It's just like a simple, fun game. It's just, I played, I don't know. I think I got to like the 6th or 7th level. It's like, I'm trying to think of like a game.
It's like a linear version of Bimini Run.
Oh God! Of course, everyone knows Bimini Run. So.
Well, I mean, people who are watching this show,
I guess, yeah.
If you don't know Bimini Run, check it out. It's an open world Genesis, vehicular speedboat game, but you're shooting at towers in the middle of the ocean there. Whereas this is, are you shooting at anything? Can you shoot?
Yeah. You're shooting at there's like other enemies on the screen.
Okay.
And you got to pick up power ups like on the way.
Yeah, so it's like a linear version of that game.
Yeah, and then there's like bonus levels too, and there's parts where you can if you get like a certain power up, you can like jump and you're kind of like almost like flying in a way.
Right.
I mean, it's just like a fun game. Actually, the version of Pit Fighter is actually like not too bad, you know.
That's what I've heard, and I've heard that, and even like the Genesis version is okay. It's not the arcade version, but again, it's Pit Fighter.
I mean, it's not great.
What do you work? You're working with Pit Fighter.
Yeah.
You make a halfway decent playable version.
Because that was like the first game I think I put.
Did you ever end up getting Kung Fu?
So yeah, so there was, I don't know, 6 or 7 games, and you had
they were all complete.
Yeah. And you had just want to make a note of that.
They were all complete.
So you had the box for Kung Fu, and I'm like, oh, isn't that like a thing? Or like
I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't look like what's on the back of the box.
I was like, isn't it like a side-scrolling kind of game? You're like, no, it's, I don't know. Like I'm in a puzzle, and I just can't figure it out. And then I just open it up. I'm like, oh, this is Super Squeak.
Well, it's got the same exact color scheme.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, that's probably why it's not, because it's literally a different
green
game.
lettering.
So I actually went on the My Atari eBay page, and so we had a copy of it loose with the manual. Or what was it? No, did you just have? Was it just the box and the manual, and then a different cart?
Yeah.
So I got the box
and manual for Super Squeak.
Basically, I have them all complete.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
You made a Tetris.
Yeah,
out of whatever you had before.
And I bought Zybots.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't. I haven't got them in yet.
Oh, I would love to play Zybots.
And I got a couple other boxes and stuff. Which it's weird because you can go on eBay and like you can get sealed copies of Lynx games, and they're like some of them are 15.
I don't know,
$20, $30.
They made so many of these. They made more games than systems.
Yeah, but
the systems are the things that are harder to come by and more expensive.
it's just weird. Like it doesn't make sense, but it's like weird because there's literally like he has like almost like all the games you can get.
But think about the Jaguar and like when you can buy all those like those manuals and cases that are
because they just made so many of those before they made the games,
right?
You know?
So I mean, it's just it was just a supply thing where they just had all of this stuff, and then instead of burying it in a landfill like ET, they kind of kept them in boxes, and then it's like eventually everything becomes something desirable,
Yeah. So
I mean, I fully expect you to get the whole lineup. I mean,
there's really I think the only
how many games are there?
72 or 73. So it's not crazy.
I think it's crazy. It might be easier for you to do that than it would be for the Jaguar.
Yeah. So I think the only really expensive game is from Telegames, which I think they put out just like with the Jaguar. They put out some games after the Jaguar was like dead, and they did that for the Lynx. And I think the really only expensive one is Double Dragon, which it's literally like a port of the arcade version, but it's like shrunk down, so like you're only seeing like a small portion of the screen, so it doesn't really play that great. And I think that's only like really expensive. When I say really expensive, I think it's like 100 or something. But like pretty much every game is $10 to $40. So yeah, I'll probably go for a full collection, and I don't think it's gonna be that hard to get them all complete too. Or in the box. Yeah. So
and you thought it was a big deal when I had one console, the whole set. Now you're gonna have 2 consoles with all the set.
Well, I mean, the Saturn's a little bit different.
I know. I'm
there's
just saying.
200 something games, and there's some that are worth like $1,000.
They weren't when I bought them.
Yeah.
They weren't when I bought them.
I'm talking about now. Yeah. So if you're interested in the Lynx, it's actually, considering everything that's going on right now, it's fairly cheap system to collect for. And it's like that it was like a failure, even though it sold like 3 million units.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's way more than I would have expected.
Yeah, but compared to like when the Game Boy was like 50, I don't know, at the time 40 million or something like that. There was like they had and the Game Gear. I don't know what the Game Gear was.
But the technology is just so cool. They were so far advanced. Like it's even a more advanced system than even the Turbo. I mean, when you think about it, I mean it's got a 16-bit processor, at least a graphics processor, and it scales.
Yeah, there's. I mean, if you look through like
I don't know why the resolution of that screen was just way too low. I mean, it's not bad to play, but it didn't showcase the quality of the graphics as much.
Right. Yeah. They're really, I mean, once you think it's not like they really screwed anything up with it.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't like the Jaguar,
it was too expensive though,
or the 5200 or whatever.
But it was like $200 for this thing when you could have bought a Sega Genesis for $159.
Or a Game Boy was going for like 80.
Yeah, so like how do you justify a parent isn't gonna...
It just didn't have those big name games on it. You know,
they had Game Boy at Toys R Us. They had this at the Sharper Image. It was like one of those. It was one of those like
it was at Big Lots.
You didn't plan on buying it, but you were at the store and you got a feeling, and then you bought it. It wasn't like. It's like, why do I need 3 back massage chairs? It's like, I don't know, but the guy was nice, and I was, I had a.
But it's like, it's not like there was anything. There's nothing really wrong with like the system. There wasn't. It's not like there's anything, like the Jaguar, like just things that don't make sense. Like, I don't know, everything
works fine and looks good, and the screen looks good, and
there's good games. I don't know. It's just. Atari.
I think Atari's reputation at the time didn't help either.
They had already sunk so low, and they were trying to make a comeback.
Right. You can't keep putting out ads for the 7800 when the Genesis is about to launch. It's just like you just can't do that.
Yeah, it's it's unfortunate. Just like Sega, just a lot of bad decisions. Things just didn't go in their favor.
But still, really, really cool, and I think really cool to own. And
so I'm actually gonna send the system to. My buddy Crossface Gaming, and he's gonna put in. I guess there's a mod right now, but there's someone else that has like a better version, more reliable. So he's gonna do that if I send him some of our systems as well.
Nice.
Because like if you see the pictures of it with like a modded screen, it's
night and day.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, just to kind of wrap up the show, then, guys, I wanted to ask you both a couple of questions here. Before we
the hot seat.
Yeah, put you on the hot seat a little bit and see what you guys think. I've had a lot of fun this year. I think we were able to really ramp up towards the end of the year.
Really boot them out.
Yeah. With the pandemic, especially early in the year, it was, for whatever reason, it was just difficult in terms of timing. Didn't really work out, but we really look forward to giving you guys more content in the new year. And making this a little bit more consistent if we can. Of course, it's a little difficult with lives and responsibilities and jobs and families, but we enjoy it. So if you guys enjoy it, we'll keep doing it. I want to know what the favorite, and we did this a couple years ago, what the favorite game is that we reviewed this year out of all these games that you would say is your favorite.
And I want to know what turns you on.
The system.
I want to know. Yeah, when you turn the system on.
Yeah, so in reverse order, the games we reviewed this year are...
And the nominees are...
Die Hard Arcade, Twisted Metal,
Zombies Ate My Neighbors,
Jag Zombies, that's right, Jag Zombies.
I repeat, Jag Zombies.
Right. American Gladiator. We'll talk about a game that's like a retro inspired game. American Gladiators, which is on for not a good reason. Stone Protectors and Sunset Riders. So it's kind of difficult for me actually to say to come up with like my favorite game on this list, to be quite honest with you, because depending on the day it could be
the way right. So
my favorite would be
the way I'm gonna do it is as I'm attaching the game to the show, and the Jag head. I think I'm going to choose Jag Zombies because that was
nice.
Because that was the first show where we interviewed someone.
No, that was a lot of fun,
and
that was my favorite show of the year, like favorite show that we did.
So that's why I'm going to choose. I mean, I like Jag Zombies.
I didn't ask that question, but it's actually a good question. What was your favorite show? And I agree.
So I'm like that's why I'm including that both. I'm attaching the show to the game.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to do more interviews.
That was going to be my resolution, or like, I want to do a few more, try to random people or like just
developers.
Yeah, that people wouldn't normally think of to interview.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like
make it more of like a Joe Rogan experience.
I definitely like to do a few more of those because that was fun. Because I was like, I've never done an interview like that. It was
a blast. We were laughing during that.
Yeah.
Just getting the insight on how he does what he does, and
because when remember when he was like, "So you're all right, don't make fun of me, but my favorite console is a Nintendo 64."
Like, why would anybody make fun of you for that?
Yeah, I like that. That's my favorite console.
Yeah, and the game's not half bad either.
What, Jag Zombies?
Yeah,
no,
it's simple fun.
Yeah,
And is that your favorite game of the year?
No, my favorite game of the year is Zombies.
And we're out of time. All right, thank you. All right, we've had a great episode.
The streamers are coming down. Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
You like that one? Did you even really play that one? No?
He watched us play it.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's difficult for me. I mean, any one of these I'm gonna regret. You know, I've been thinking about this, and it's still tough for me. I'm gonna say
It's
Zombies.
not that big of a deal.
I'm gonna say Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
You can do mine.
Why not?
Yeah, we can all have the same.
So
favorite.
the zombies have it.
Yeah, so we're doing Jag Zombies and Zombies.
Ate My Neighbors.
I mean, all right. So if I was just,
and it was kind of a zombie year, you know, when you think about it.
yeah, I mean, if I was probably, if it was just like my favorite game, like,
Yeah.
honestly, it either, and it's funny because they're both Konami. I would probably do
Sunset Riders.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors just a little bit over Sunset Riders.
I think I like, because there's a lot of games like Sunset Riders in terms of like left to right battling.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of games like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and that's another one where it's just the between the music and
It's like for me it's like 1A 1B because I've played
Right.
Sunset Riders way more than I've played Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Mine is the other way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why, you know. But I think I might give the edge a little bit to Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah, and it's a game you can play by yourself or with a friend. You don't have to, you know. It can be it's just as fun.
Yeah.
Either way. But again, Die Hard Arcade, Twisted Metal, Sunset Riders.
Metal.
I wouldn't put Stone Protectors on that same level as those games, but I think all of these games are, you know, they're some of the top of their genres.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So you know, I think we covered a lot of good games. I think if I've got
I mean it's kind of hard to do a whole show about it. I mean, I guess because
I'd like to cover more bad games that we played when we were kids.
I guess because it's not really like the year before when we did Friday the 13th. It's not really a good game.
No,
It's not terrible though. So it's kind of like in
but
the
I
middle.
want to find more things to be hateful about.
That's my New Year's resolution.
If there's
I want to be more hateful.
Yeah, so would love to interview more people. I would like to cover more games because there were games we played that weren't good. Like I want to cover Shaq Fu.
Oh, I mean, yeah, because there's so much about that game.
That's what I mean,
like how it came to be
Right.
and
This
everything
isn't American
about it.
Gladiators where it's just like there's not really much to talk about this
Yeah.
game. So like I'd like to cover more games where like the development went wrong or like what happened in this game and like, you know,
Yeah, because I remember in
or doing some comparisons, like version comparisons, you know, if there's a better version and a bad, like Sunset Riders, you
and
know?
we did it before with like Ninja Turtles.
I like doing the console comparisons between two different games.
Yeah.
I'd actually, you know, I'd like to do an offshoot. I mean, I've talked to you before, but I'd like to utilize the technology that we have now to start doing some, you know, an offshoot podcast where I go through, you know, some of our gaming history and like how I got into gaming and what the games were that we played and kind of go a little bit more granular. As I've mentioned, you know, one of the inspirations for this show for me was Retro Blast podcast with Anthony Norsha from 5-6 years ago. And he went through his whole gaming life and the history of how he started and every game that he played and going into the games and what they are and kind of describing them for a younger generation and kind of what was happening around when he was playing these games. So I would love to maybe possibly do something like that as like a Turbo Duo offshoot if possible. But again, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'd also like to try and do another a play along. I don't know how we tried it that one time, and I don't know if there was some kind of syncing issue or a recording issue. We tried to do it with Turtles in Time, and then when I went
Sunset Riders, right?
No, we did it with Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time. Okay.
And when I went to go put like our video of us playing and the gameplay footage,
lag or something like
didn't sync up, and like it was just like way off, and I couldn't figure it out. I don't know if it was our camera or if it was how I recorded it, but that wouldn't be really. I don't think it would be a podcast. It's just maybe just something to put on the channel. Like,
well, we'll have to practice it and just not plan on releasing it and just see how it works. If we do like an hour,
I'd like to try that again.
Yeah.
Or if we did like a watch along to like some like video game documentary or something on like YouTube, just some like
show
a 30-minute like some
and be able to talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think my favorite game-related acquisition of the year has got to be, and I don't mean to get sappy, but it's got to be my PS5 that I got for Christmas.
Oh, true. We're talking about 6 days left in the year.
Yeah, I mean, my wife sat in a line in a not great area to try to get me this thing, and got a tip from Ryan on where it was going to be, and she knew how special it was for me, and so to be able to get that from her on Christmas Day was a really...
I did not like it because I had to sit out in the cold.
You sat with mommy and you did it?
But like I said, you said downstairs,
oh, no.
I never get cold and I never get hot. So what is it?
I think
All right.
sometimes both.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've enjoyed doing this with and for you guys, so we hope you're enjoying it. We look forward to a great 2022. We hope you guys have a great 2022. Put 2021 behind us and look forward and look for happy and brighter pastures.
Put some 22s on them.
That's right. So we'll be back soon, maybe with Cruisin' USA, maybe with the Cruisin' Trilogy very, very soon. In the meantime, be safe, be happy, be healthy. Remember that everything good comes from above. And as always, keep it turbo.
And sometimes from the left.